Aufnahme starten. Where is it? There it is. Okay, this is the next episode, which is like very close to the other episode because I didn't stop. I stopped the recording and uploaded it, but it takes a lot of time, so why not make a family tree episode, which is very relaxing. So, there is the family tree of Willow Creek right now, which is like King Francois. He died of old age a while ago, like a really while ago. And he had like 4 children. He had Prince Hugo, who is now the Prince Consort Hugo of Komoribe. Princess Fleur, which is now the Queen of Windenburg, or the Queen Dowager, because her husband died not so long ago. King Pierre, who became the heir to the Willow Creek throne. He was actually third in line, but Hugo abdicated actually, even before he married Akira. Fleur married the King of Windenburg, so he was next in line, and he married Aditi of Oasis Springs, which is actually so sweet because he had like a crush on her as a child, and then she was a teenager, and he thought that she wouldn't like him because he was like a very mean child, he was mean. And his younger sister, Princess Nalani. But what you might not know is that they have a half sister called Princess Chloe, because her mom, the Queen Rosalie, she had like an affair with Prince Jean Lucas, which is the actual younger brother, I created him, of King Francois. He's the younger brother of him because he was like away and had like a lot of stuff involved with why the family is broke. And he married the Queen of Dakarai, Queen Idara. Like in the very beginning, they got married. Like really, like first few sim days they got married. And they have like 2 children, Prince Yazid and Marquis Sail, also Prince Sail. But that's not important. I want to stay with the royal family of Willow Creek. Okay. So Hugo had like 2 sons, Aoki and Gabriel, and Aoki is the heir to the Komoribe throne, and he already has a son called Yuto. And Gabriel, who is still a teenager, also has a child called Jay with the crown princess of Oasis Springs. So they have a lot of scandals. Sorry, my nose is itching. So yeah, but she lives in the Oasis Springs Palace right now, and he will actually marry the crown princess of Oasis Springs. And Fleur had like 3 children. She had Princess Alicia. I have to like make her name longer, but her name is Alicia. Prince Scott and Prince Garrett. And no, they're not the heir to the throne. The heir to the throne was Vivienne for Windenburg, but she died, and now it's her daughter, Princess Hannah, who is still a child. And Victor, Pierre, why I call him Victor? Because his son is called Victor. Pierre had like 1 child with Princess Aditi. So they only have 1 child because they don't really want more than 1 child. And technically they also have Chloe as their adopted child because she's like in the same age as like Victor. They're technically like a few, maybe 1 month away because they were born like really close to each other. And he actually sees her as a sister more than his aunt actually. So let's move over to the Oasis Springs royal family, which is from Prince Consort Jay and Queen Sundari. Well, Prince Consort Jay says he was dead by anger, but he didn't die of anger. He died of murder. But it's probably better to say anger. And his wife died of like old age, like way after him. I mean, he died when his daughter was like still a child, and his kids were teenagers, so yeah. And yes, Aditi married Pierre. Sanjay became the heir to the throne, and he's now king of Oasis Springs. And he's married to Marcel, which was the son of the Baron of Willow Creek. He was engaged to other people, but it didn't work out, so he married Prince Lord Marcel, and they have like 2 children actually. I mean, if I click on him, yes, they have 2 children. For some reason, the game didn't recognize Sanjay as Benita's father, but that's okay. But they have like 3 children right now. They have Layla, Benita, and Zaha. And as you know, Layla has like a daughter already. Then there is Princess Vader, who married the Queen of Brindleton Bay, and they have actually 3 children. They have the twins, Zoe and Elijah, and Nicholas. And okay, and then Ikea, which is a little bit complicated because Ikea was actually supposed to marry the what's it called? The Crown Prince of Nalani, but a lot of stuff happened, and they were like arranged to marry, actually, and a lot of stuff happened, and yeah, they didn't get married. Because I will explain everything in a separate video, because that was like drama, and now she's married to his brother, Ikaya, and they have like triplets. They have Nahua, Makua, and Kona. They have one bunch of children, and they immediately got triplets, and they don't have any children anymore. So yeah, that's the royal family of Oasis Springs. Let's go to the royal family of which one? Brindleton Bay? Yeah, Brindleton Bay. Okay, Brindleton Bay consists of Queen Melina and Princess Consort Christina. Well, both died of old age. They're gone. And they also have like Maria, which is the eldest and the heir to the throne, who is now queen. Moment. Okay. So, I have to make a short pause. Sorry. But yes, and Duke Eduardo, Alfonso, the Baron Alfonso, and Stefan. And nobody. Oh well, yes, Duke Eduardo married the former queen of Windenburg, who is now the Duchess, and they have 2 children. They have Anissa, which is now technically Princess Anissa, because she's already married to Aoki, and Lady Marisol, which is actually a variation of Mary. I didn't know that. And Alfonso married the daughter of the Earl and Countess of Windenburg. They actually got like arranged marriage, but they actually love each other, and they have 2 children, Lord Alec and Lady Cora. So yeah, and he's like Lord Prince Stefan is like together with the what's it called? With Prince Scott from of Windenburg. And now we go to the Solani royal family, because that's a big thing. Okay, the Solani royal family, which the king and queen are still alive, which is Queen Nalani and King Kaikan. They just aged up into elders, like they were really the youngest of all the kings and queens. And it consists of their children Mikala, which is the eldest and the crown prince, the twins Ikaya and Ohana, and their younger sister Noelani. And as you know, Ikaya has 3 children. Mikala has like also 3 children, because he had 1. Also, was he? No, he already aged. I'm not sure if he was a teenager or he aged up already, but I think he was like really close to aging up, so I think he was like over 18 already. So not really a teenager, but for some standards he was a teenager. He had it with his like Farachi was like the second princess he was engaged to. The first one was Ikea. But like with Ikea, Farachi also got like really close to his brother Ikaya, which Ikaya and Mikala hate each other. That's outright hating. Every time they see each other, they get like a family moodlet, which is so funny. I mean, it got a bit better since Ikaya moved out, but they're like literally neighbors. I didn't think about that. Right, they don't like each other. But he's now married to Farachi, which is actually his second wife. And in my gameplay, I will make it so that as long as you're not the king, you can marry, also divorce and remarry as much as you like. When you are king, it has to be really like a big decision and a big reason why. Just for example, King Edward divorced his like wife, Queen Mary, because she had an affair and gave him like illegitimate children and said they were his. So he waited, he was like, okay, and then they divorced her. He literally dumped her. It was like, out of the palace. He still kept the children, because they were teenagers at that point, and he said, you can have everything besides the right to the throne. It's not your right. Because you're not my children, and I'm the king. So, yeah. And he had, like, Princess Kiala and Prince Jihoon. As you might imagine, they have different names. They are from Ruby Lee, which is the daughter of the Baroness of Komoribe. So yeah, and Kiala is the heir to the Nalani throne, not Koa. He doesn't want to be on the throne, and he's like, okay. And she was already prepared for it, so she's like the heir to the throne. And his ex-wife has like remarried to Prince Yazid of Dakarai. And they have a daughter named Lady Sibu. Okay. And I have to like look back into like, and Ohana is married to Prince Sahel, who is now the Marquis, and she's the Marchioness. And they have two children you met already, Prince Lord Liko and Lord Kyoki. And Princess Nalani is still a teenager, so she doesn't have any like children already. And Baroness Farachi, who is the sister of the king of Dakarai, because Sahil and Yazid are her half brothers. And yes, because she was like they're not her children. I mean, they are her children because she carried them out, but they're not really her children. She didn't have like an affair or something. They're not hers. She was just this surrogate mother because she had like a lot of money problems when she was like out and had to raise Koa alone as a single mother. So she was like, hey, I'm healthy and I already have a child. I know what it feels like. So she went and became like am I recording? Oh yes, the surrogate mother of two children, as it seems, for Princess Lydia, which is now the daughter of Lady Bethany and Prince Mal and Anne, whose father I deleted. Whoops. And and then there's King Cuento, who is married to Prince Oliver, and he has a daughter named Princess Nadia, who is the heir to the Dakarai throne, but she actually comes from Prince Marl and King Cuento. But they are like, I mean, Prince Marl was actually a long time ago, like 2 years, was like Princess Marlene, but he was like, I feel unhappy, I don't know why, or I was angry, I'm always like comparing myself to my brothers, because he was like a set of like triplets, and they were like 2 boys and 1 girl. So yeah, he was always comparing himself. Oh, it seems like he was like, before he transitioned, the one who carried out Prince Sahel or Prince Sahar. I mean, it's surrogate. He was a surrogate when he was like a child. In the past, when he was a child. I'm sorry. I just been so I cannot talk so much. And like, look, that's the Windenburg family. This is the Windenburg family. I mean, half of them. They're like all related to each other. And where is she? I want to see. And there's the Windenburg family, which is really big. I mean, Victor alone, the Crown Prince of Willow Creek, alone has like 11 cousins or 13 cousins, which I'm always have to be worried about. Oh, which one can I put him together with? Oh, one can I put him together with? Oh no, that's his cousin. That doesn't work. But he found someone. He's happy. No worry. He is happy. But yeah, that's the Windenburg family, which consists of King Edward. I mean, no, I have to make it this way. And King Edward was married to Mary, but they divorced, and then he married Princess Fleur of Willow Creek when she like aged up into a young adult. It was like, yay, finally. I mean, they knew each other when she... The fun fact is, they knew each other when she turned into a teenager, and I didn't do anything. I was like leaving them alone, and they instantly became like best friends. And I was like, oh, maybe because she understands what it's like to be in a scandal household. Because that's, at that point, there was so much scandal, and wee! But yes, he had like 3 children with Princess Fleur, or Queen Fleur. He had like Alicia, Scott, and Garrett. He had Queen Vivian with like Mary, which is his only legitimate child, who was the heir, but died. Death by laughter. I'm still upset about that. And he had like, they're not his children, but they lived in the palace for a long time. And the children of Mary and the Duke of Brindleton Bay, Eduardo. And Vivian had like 2 children with Pelham Goncalves. They met in like university and really hit it off. And he's actually non-royal and non-noble. I won't say a commoner, but he is a commoner. He has no royal title or royal blood, but he technically has. He has a noble title. He has the title of Archduke, actually, or Grand Duke would be more accurate, because Archduke is like for the Austrian and Hungarian titles, which I don't use, so I might make it that he was the Grand Duke's son, which is like a, let us say, a duke as like owns a type of land, and the Grand Duke owns like more land, because he was the son of the Grand Duke of Brightchester, who was not a royal area, but an area for like everyone to like be able to study for free and everything. But his parents like died when he was like 7, 8. He was really young when they died with his older brother, and he was adopted into another family, and they changed his name, his like last name, because Pelham just kept being Pelham. And Vivian actually found that out before their wedding. He was like, hey, or she was like, hey, you're actually not a noble, not a commoner. And he was like, I don't really care what I am, I just want to marry you, and you also don't care what I am, so yeah. But he has actually a noble title, but they really have to dig it out. And he has to dig it out now with his like mother-in-law, so he doesn't lose the title that he now has, because technically Vivian wasn't crowned yet. There should have been an event that would happen after like a lot of preparation, but now she's dead. And yes, they have 2 children. They have like Princess Hannah, which is now the current ruling monarch, and Prince Abraham. I think that's everyone. Oh no, I forgot the Komoribe family. Where is it? Yes, the Komoribe family, which is, Hugo married the Empress. Well, she wasn't Empress at that point, but he married the Empress of Komoribe. Which is actually also funny for Komoribe, because technically Daichi, her brother, which is him, he was actually the next in line to the throne, but he didn't really like the idea. He was like, I'm not good for this, I can't do this. My sister can do it far better. She's someone who can speak to people, she's friendly, she's nice, she's very strong. She's like good for this position. Why does it have to be the oldest? Why can't it be the one that's actually good for this position? So he kind of threatened and blackmailed his parents to be like, hey, if you don't let me abdicate my position as the emperor, I will blurt out every single dirty secret that you all have. And they're like, okay, we leave you. And like, Akira Empress, which really surprised Akira, because she was like, her brother was so good at this, because he was also outgoing and very pleasing to everyone. But he was like, he just doesn't feel like he can hold the duty and make their kingdom a good kingdom. He has like fear that he might ruin his kingdom, or their kingdom. So he was like, you are perfect for this. And she is perfect. She's really perfect. Their kingdom is like prospering like so much. A bit of scandal because of their children having kids as teenagers. It's like, yeah, a little bit bad, but who cares right now? And they have also 2 younger siblings named Kyo and Ariana. And Ariana is living with like Princess Alicia, and they are getting their first child. I might have seen the very first episode where I said they had a child, but then something happened, and yeah, I had to like remove the child because it was like so buggy. And Daichi married Lord Sadao, who was actually the secret boyfriend of Empress Akira. But they married, and they had like 1 son called Lord Kaito. I think that's everyone from the royal family tree. So yeah, it's the end of the episode. Goodbye.